Hey, I have a second channel. Cube Compium TDX.
Hey everybody, here we have a Bestec ATX-300-12E power supply. I'm getting ready to recap on the secondary. It's got some fell caps on the output side. So here's a look at your spec label for those of you who are not familiar with this power supply. So I should mention this unit is not the infamous eMachine motherboard killer. Although this is an eMachine OEM unit, it's not the one that kills motherboards. That would be the ATX-250-12E. This 312E replaced that 250-12E, and it fixes the problem that the 250-12E had with its 5V standby rail. This one has the IC 5V standby rail, but I do want to focus on something that's very important with these units. Bestec for a while used this yellow glue in their units, and while it may seem harmless, it can cause problems in hot spots. For example, one of the hot spots in this unit is around the 5V standby area. If we look in really closely, I'll try to get this in where you can see a little better. Okay, so you may see that A6351A chip right there, right next to that transformer. You see that dark spot in that glue? I had a Bestec 312E fail in this area before. What happens is this glue, anytime it gets into a hot spot, it'll darken and it will become conductive. So when you combine, of course, that glue into a hot spot that happens to carry high voltage, you could be leading to problems. Like I mentioned, and I'll put a video, I'll link a video up here in the right corner of the screen. I had one of these units fail a couple years ago in 2020. It was in my neighbor's computer I was servicing. I had just cleaned the computer out, plugged it in, bam. Took the unit apart, and there was a nice black spot around that A6351A chip. That's the 5V standby IC. It takes place of the old classic 2-transistor design. But what's happened here is you can see that glue on this one's getting dark, and this one is heading in that direction. This one has not catastrophically failed yet. But if this glue is not taken out of there, it will short out and cause this unit to fail with a bang. So you can see the capacitors over there are bulging, a bunch of jamicons. I think there's a caps on in there too. Gonna be changing all those out. Funny note, this unit actually came OEM with a Chemicon KZE series capacitor on the 5V standby output. That brownish capacitor right there. Yeah, look at that. I didn't put that one in there. That was actually already in there, which is kind of rare considering, you know, they normally use crap caps from TPO, OST, Jamicon, and Capson. It's like if they had that one Chemicon there, why didn't they just use Chemicons on the entire thing? Maybe it's because Bestec was trying to address the issue where a capacitor would almost always fail in this part right here by using a quality capacitor. But it's because it's usually situated right next to a hot resistor and a diode. It's not a good combination. But anyways, so we got that glue right there. You can see it's getting nice and dark there. So I'm going to be removing that glue. So there's other spots in this power supply I'm going to look at as well. I mean, I want to say that this varistor is okay. Its legs may not really be impacted. And the key thing is really to look for hot spots. The spots where the glue is like bright yellow, it's not really that much of a concern. You really just got to look for the areas where it's dark. Like I mentioned around that 5V standby IC, we're definitely going to have to address that. But in other areas of this power supply, I don't see any spots where the glue is darkening. Besides, on the secondary side, it's not nearly as much a concern. It's mainly on the primary side that you really got to watch it. So I've had 2 units fail. One was a Bestec ATX-300-12E, and the other was a 250 watt Hypro. Similar thing, had similar glue in it, and the same thing happened. So anyways, I'm going to be changing out those capacitors, and I'll be addressing that glue. Okay, so I just replaced those capacitors over here on this side of the unit, the ones that were failing. Now let's see if we can address that right there. It's kind of hard to see with this heat sink. There we go. You can see it right there where that glue has gotten dark. And we'll see if we can get that out of there, because that's definitely going to be causing problems. And like I'm going to say, sorry if I can't get the best view. Oh yeah, it's all crumbled up and everything. And also what it can do is it can actually cause corrosion. So not only does it get conductive, it can also get corrosive too. Really, the idea is to try and nibble that mess out of there. Yeah, that IC looks a little rough. So Bestec did get away from using this glue, but not until after it started causing problems. It's probably the reason why they quit using it. They changed over to a white color glue instead. I mean, this stuff is just an absolute mess. They should have never used this stuff in here. Try to be careful not to mess up that transformer. Okay everybody, so I've went ahead and actually taken out this transformer. It's right here. I desoldered it and took it out. That way you can get a good visual of the glue. It's on these terminals, which are on the primary side. That's not a particularly good thing. And the thing is, it's just fleeking right off. It's done gotten dried up, and the thing is, we don't want to get conductive because this is the exact same failure, or would-be failure, that the Bestec ATX-300-12E I had blow up on me had. If you look back at that video where I tear down the unit, you'll see nice big black spot right on this part of the auxiliary transformer and that 5-volt standby IC. I tell you, that glue, that's some nasty stuff. It really is. They should not have been using this in these power supplies in the factory. But I can't necessarily say it's just a Bestec thing, because Hypro and some other power supply OEMs were doing the exact same thing, using the exact same glue. But they've later switched to a white glue, which I believe is basically silicone. But some people have said that it's had problems too. But I'm not going to be able to get every single bit off of this off here. I did look to see if I had a spare transformer. I have one that has the same part number of a different Bestec unit, but it was missing one of the leads on this side, and I was like, nope, can't have that. I want to have one that's an exact match. So there you have it. So I'm just going to try to clean this one up and put it back in and hope for the best of the Bestec. I probably should have done this before I spent my time replacing those capacitors, but anyhow, it is what it is. Yeah, they got that stuff everywhere in this thing. It's just a mess, and it literally starts to eat at the terminals of the components that it's around. I mean, I'm not kidding, guys. Like that's hard to see. Let me get a flashlight here, try to brighten up just a little bit. But see if we can zoom in just a little bit. I mean, you may be able to see there's just a tad bit of corrosion on those pins. Really just trying to get in there and just get the gunk out. That's an A6351A chip. Not sure if you can buy those brand new anymore. Bestec, I think they eventually switched to the TNY 268PN. I forget the exact number off the top of my head, but that's a different IC that other OEMs have used. I mean, you can see, just for example here, what this glue is actually doing to the PCB. It's just kind of gnarly. Alright, so I'm going to try to get the loose stuff out of here, and I'm going to go in with the Q-tip with some rubbing alcohol, see if I can clean that up a little bit more. Okay, so I was able to get that stuff cleaned up a little bit. I was mainly focused on this spot right there, next to that IC. Now, if I turn the power supply up a little bit, we can see both sides of that circuit. You may be able to see what I was talking about as far as the corrosion goes. So look at this side right here, the side that's facing the transformer, or where the transformer goes. And look at the other side, and you can see the difference. You can see what that glue. You can really see what the glue does to the metal leads on the components. It eventually just corrodes them like the terminals on a car battery. It's just not good. But yeah, I got that stuff off there, and the transformer, I was able to get a lot of it off, at least the bottom. It ain't perfect by any means, but certainly is better than it was. So I'm gonna pop this transformer back in here and solder it back in. I'm gonna let this thing sit overnight, and we'll have to back porch test it, see if it blows up or see if it works. Hopefully it'll work. At least that's my goal, to try to save this unit from failing like the other one did. So in case you ever wondered how the transformer comes out, you have to desolder at least on this unit, you gotta desolder 7 different leads. So it is definitely, it's definitely more intermediate. Hopefully it'll stay put there. I'll go ahead and heat the soldering iron up and tack 2 of the leads on. And at least to hold the transformer in place. And then I'll solder in the rest of them. And like I said, we'll let the unit sit overnight. I'll back porch test it tomorrow. And we'll see how everything goes. So, like I mentioned, I'm going to solder here and here. You can't even see what I'm doing. There we are. So, here and here, I'll solder those 2 points to hold the transformer in place, and then I'll solder in the remaining connections. Okay, it's back in there. And like I mentioned, we'll just let it sit overnight. I'm just checking real quick. Making sure we don't have any bridges there, and we don't. Yeah, this is when it's very critical that you don't have any bridges in your soldering work. Yeah, we're good. It's time to double check. Okay, you can see we got the transformer installed back into place, and definitely looks better now than it did. Like I said, it was just nearly impossible to make it 100% perfect, but hopefully that will hopefully be enough to save this unit from failing right there. Because like I mentioned earlier, that was the exact same area that the previous 12E had failed. And literally what happened was, when I plugged the unit in to mains power, it was in a computer too. Bang! And luckily it didn't harm any attached hardware. The motherboard was fine, all that stuff was fine. And I changed out the power supply for another 12E, 312E I had on hand, and the computer is still working as far as I know. I'm getting ready to service it again here pretty soon. It needs to be upgraded, really. But see, here's the replacement caps I put in, all Rubicons, and of course got that taken care of. So we'll let this sit overnight, and then I'll back porch test it tomorrow and hope for the best. Okay, everybody, so we got it plugged in, ready to do the back porch test. I've got the green and black leads jumper to turn on. Let's hope for the best. And it is running. If you see any flashes outside, hopefully it's just lightning or the thunderstorm nearby. So the unit is running. I'm going to let it run for a minute, because sometimes if you put a capacitor in backwards, it might take a minute for that to show up. So yeah, I'm always a bit nervous when I do these back porch tests. It's the one time that you do not want fireworks. And again, there's a pretty good lightning storm off to our west that's coming this way. So I wanted to go in and get this thing back porch tested before the storm got here. I think we're good. No smoke, nothing crazy like that. Alrighty, so I guess we can go ahead and shut her off and bring it back in, because as The thing is, during the summertime, you had the bugs, everything flying around. Last thing you want to do is have a bug flying and frat. Yeah. So it looks like this one has passed the back porch test. Okay guys, so I think it's safe to say that we have fixed this unit. We've recapped it, and we've, well, hopefully have saved it from failing in the 5-volt standby area due to that nasty glue, which, I mean, again, you could tell it was heading in that direction. It was getting dark, and it was probably starting to conduct, starting to cause corrosion. It's not good. It's not good stuff. I'm glad they switched from this glue to a different glue, but there's still a lot of units out there that used it. So, anyways, that's another Bestec ATX-300-12E that gets an opportunity to continue service. So, anyways, hope y'all enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Well, everybody, that wraps it up for this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the computer channel, and be sure to tick that bell so you'll get notified when new videos are posted. Also, don't forget, I have a whole lot of other interesting videos here on the channel to check out. And also, in addition, I have a second channel, Comp MTDX, where I have all sorts of other videos not exactly related to technology. Links to the channels are available at the end of this video. Again, I thank you for your support, and thanks for watching this video.